All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants event. My name is Joe Borowski, and I'll be your host for today. We raced through the school year, and we are in the final 2 weeks of live lessons for the school year. We still have a very busy week this week. I just sent out a newsletter to educators. We'll be doing things like hanging out with Jane Goodall later in the week. We'll be hanging out on Canada's only research icebreaker. We'll be going to a river in Zambia on Wednesday to hang out with my friend Joe Cutler. So there's still lots of stuff happening this week. And then next week, we still have 1 or 2 more events to wrap up the school year. So head over to the website, exploringbytheseat.com, and you can find everything that is still coming up before we say goodbye for the summer. Today, we are going to have our last English event with Parks Canada. So we all school year long, we've been having an amazing series with Parks Canada, visiting different national parks, historic areas, even marine protected spots, and learning about some of Canada's heritage and some of the amazing conservation work that happens at some of these national parks. So today we are having a little bit of a catch up. We had an earlier event scheduled with Green Gables out on PEI, but unfortunately we had to do a little postpone. So we are going to tackle that event today, and I think it's going to be a pretty fun one. So we are heading to Green Gables Heritage Place in Cavendish, Prince Edward Island. So we are going to go on a journey of fact and fiction, exploring the real history of Green Gables and how it influenced the fictional world created by L.M. Montgomery. So we are going to look at the themes that were tackled, including imagination, beauty, friendship, belonging, and freedom and self, that has great significance to L.M. Montgomery and continue to resonate with readers of her celebrated works. I'm sure many classrooms are still using the books. Many of you may have read the books at home as well. I can see we've got a great group tuning in already, so don't be shy. Use the chat sidebar, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You can send in your questions, play Kahoot with us as well. But for now, I'm going to head to PEI, and we're going to bring Campbell in with us. Here we go. Hey, Campbell, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Campbell, it's great to have you joining us live today. Thanks so much.
No, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Perfect. Well, as you heard me say, we've got an awesome group of classrooms today. I think they'll have lots of questions for you, but for the moment, I'm going to let you take the stage, take things over.
Splendid, splendid. Well, to start off, I'll say hello, bonjour, gwe. Welcome to Green Gables Heritage Place, part of Lucy Maud Montgomery's Cavendish National Historic Site. So, you might have heard when I said hello there, I said so in 3 different languages: English, French, and the third one there in Mi'kmaq. It's the language of the indigenous people of Abbotsford, Prince Edward Islands, people we have living here for many, many years ago. And we always like to recognize that the land upon which we gather here today is unceded Mi'kmaq territory, and we pay our respects to the people who lived here. But of course, you can also see on the sign, we have tons of different languages, different representations. So of course, the 3 in bold there are welcome, bienvenue, and epjalasi. These all mean welcome in those same 3 languages. To start off, I'll let you know that it's really interesting having all these different people come visit us, because Canada is actually, as far as PEI is actually Canada's smallest province. Little fun fact for you. Also, I'll let you know, look at this beautiful Lego set we have here. Isn't it so great? For those who have ever visited, or if you want to come visit later, you can check this out. It's a really beautiful set. I'll say another fun fact, there's actually 9,792 Lego pieces. Such a specific number, but all of them are there for a reason. Super beautiful piece. So that's part of the house here, and I'm sure we're going to see it later, the actual real Green Gables house that inspired the books. So you can follow me along here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the author, Lucy Maud Montgomery. So this is a great picture of her here, actually writing at her desk. So you can see that. Ever since she was extremely little, even younger than most of you, she was actually already an avid writer. She just loved writing, so creative. When she was super young, she even started a journal that she kept up all the way to the last years of her life. When she finished school, she then went to actually a college, a teacher's college, and did a 2-year program in only 1 year. She was incredibly intelligent, had a fantastic work ethic. And then she did become a teacher and taught at multiple different places here in PEI. I'm going to ask a question for you folks. What do you want to be when you grow up?
All right. So there'll be a little delay on YouTube, but you can put those answers to that question, what do you want to be when you grow up, into the chat. I'm going to pick on a couple of our camera classrooms and see what they have to say. Miss MacArthur's crew, does anybody have any thoughts on what they want to be when they grow up?
We've had photographer, dancer. What else did we have, guys? Interior designer. Oh, animal.
All right, those are some pretty good ones. Miss Bendel,
I love the creativity.
Have they put anything in the chat yet? We'll check in with Miss Bendel's fifth graders. And then I'm watching the live chat as well to see if anything comes in. I do have one group saying that they were just there last month and the Lego set, they were really impressed. Over 9,000 pieces. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Oh, it's a great little piece. There's kids playing on that Lego set at all times. I'm surprised there's not right now.
All right. I think that's the responses we have so far.
Amazing. Perfect. Well, you can follow me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of Anne of Green Gables that was written, indeed, by Lucy Maud Montgomery, the author we just talked about. So I'll show you here. We have a couple of different portraits showing kind of the start of the books and certain key moments. So we'll start off here. In the village of Avonlea lived an elderly brother and sister named Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert. This is Matthew here, and you can see he's pretty tired doing all the chores, chopping the wood by himself. He's got a rag up to his head, wiping off some sweat. And Marilla here, you can see a thought bubble popping out. She's dreaming of a young orphan boy to help out with all the chores, because the two of them are getting a bit older. So it might make sense, right? So they sent word. I like to say they played the telephone game, but I would also argue that they lost the telephone game, because when Matthew went to the train station to pick up a young orphan boy, that's not who was sent. We can actually see here, there's a message on this note from this lady at an orphanage. She goes ahead and she talks and tells that this young redheaded girl named Anne Shirley is going to be sent to PEI. When she does, we'll see here, that is who Matthew finds at the train station. And look at the color of Anne. It kind of represents kind of the creativity, the excitement, the joy of Anne Shirley. You can see part of the area is starting to get color, but Matthew still doesn't fully have it here. And he seems a bit confused because he was supposed to have a young orphan boy. But you know what? It's all right. The two of them decided they'll go back to their house, which they lived at, called Green Gables. You can see this trail, just beautiful, with the nice red dirt, the beautiful carriage ride, and with a big smile on her face, arms wide. Of course, the beautiful cherry trees, right? And then we go to the next frame, and we see Matthew has his color now, right? He's had some conversations with Anne. He kind of understands the beauty of Anne Shirley and her character and her personality. But Marilla's got a frown on her face. She doesn't like the idea of having a young girl, because this is supposed to be a young orphan boy, about 14 to 15 years old. But Anne is just 12 years old. She's even younger than they wanted. You can see that there. But they did just get to Green Gables, and she looks very happy to be there, Anne Shirley does. So go to the next part here, and you can see they're talking inside of the kitchen. And Matthew's explaining, well, maybe she can stay. Maybe this will work. And Anne seems pretty nervous because Marilla, once again, still has a frown, isn't convinced. But she says, maybe if she does well, maybe if she's doing chores, maybe, I don't know. I don't think so. We're going to have to send her back. But then look to the next frame as Marilla starting to add a bit of color there. You can see she notices Anne Shirley working. Does she do all the chores perfectly? Definitely not. But that's okay, because she's working hard, she's doing her best, and you can see Marilla's starting to be convinced. And right here, they're back in the kitchen again, and Marilla, Matthew, and Anne, and all the room has full color, and she is so excited because Marilla and Matthew just told her she can stay at Green Gables. The rest of the story follows her adventures and, of course, misadventures for those who know. She's definitely a little bit of mischievous sometimes. She's super creative, spoke a million words in a minute, right? And she goes here, she talks and makes her best friend Diana. We won't go through all the stories because we could be here forever, but it's an amazing story. If you want to read it, please do. And then they kind of continue living together. There's a happy family, right? So that's the story of Anne of Green Gables, at least the start of it. Next, I'm going to show you a nice little thing. I know Joe at the start there, he said we do a great job of mixing fact and fiction at Green Gables, and I'll show you another evidence of that. So this part is fiction, but the next part is fact based off of the books. There's actually tons of different translations, and I think it's really nice to see the impacts around the world that both the author, Lucy Maud Montgomery, as well as the character, Anne Shirley, have made. So you can follow me here, and we'll go check out these books. We have here, there's actually 42 translations, 42 different languages. It's super neat to see. I'm going to ask you a question for you folks. Do any of you speak languages other than English at home? Or do you know any other languages other than English? What about your family members? I'll ask those. Let's see if we can get some unique languages in here.
All right. So those tuning in, don't be shy to use the chat sidebar. Send us in. I can see we've got our crew in Cochrane, Alberta. They're saying French. They speak French at school.
Amazing.
Is one that they speak. I've got someone in the online chat saying that they speak some Italian at home.
Italian. Wow. We have Italian here. You can see that was made in 1981.
And then we've got a little more variety at home. We've got some Spanish, some Portuguese, and some Finnish.
Oh my goodness. Very impressive. Very, very impressive, folks. Well, you can follow me along here. We're going to head to the next part. I'm going to go show you the barn. This part's nice. It's pretty cool. I'll show you here. So we're going to walk outside to the beautiful little hills of PEI, our beautiful woods. Over here, actually, is our haunted woods. It's really, really nice. And up, it's our barn. It was actually fell down. It was torn down in 1940s, but then in 1997 we rebuilt it back up to how it was described and how we saw it in different photos of it. So the outside looks almost identical to the super, super old one, almost 100 years old. This one is only not that quite old, but it does look like it for sure. So we did our best to have a little replica, right? Follow me here. We're going to go see something about farming. A fun fact is that where Green Gables is, where this place is, the entire site, there's also a golf course that wraps around it. And the entire land of the golf course, and even wider, and then all the way down to the water, that direction, the ocean, that is the land that this family owned at that time. So it's such a big farm, such a big area, and they must have had so many chores to do, right? So many things to work up with. So I'll show you here. This is our turnip pulper, this part here, and then to the left, there's the seeder, and that's what they would use to have seeds dispersed all over the ground on the farm. You have your rolling pin here, it rolls the wheel, and the little holes on the seeders where they fall out of, and you push that. Do any of you at home do any special, or do you help your family with chores? And if so, what chores do you help out with?
All right. I'm sure we'll have some students who do some chores at home.
Absolutely.
So don't be shy. Use the chat sidebar if you're tuning in on YouTube. I can see some coming from our camera classes. Let's see what they're saying. Gardening. That seems to be a common one.
Gardening, of course.
Laundry. We have some students who do laundry. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Making
Perfect.
beds. Yep. That's pretty standard chores. Yeah.
That's great, though. Yes. That's how
Here
you
comes
practice working, right? It's amazing. Good job, folks.
a few from YouTube. We've got laundry again. We've got taking out the garbage, dishes.
Oh, amazing. You guys are professionals. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you. We're going to go to the house here. I'll show you. We'll head inside, and I'll show you a couple cool things inside of there. As we go on through, I'll tell you a couple fun facts about it. So it was originally made almost 200 years ago in the year 1831. and that was from relatives of the author, Lucy Maud Montgomery. She lived just over the woods that we described earlier, but her cousins lived here, and she visited so often as a young girl. She loved the area, she loved the home, the property, the farm. She decided to use this house as the inspiration, not her own house. I think it'd be pretty interesting if I wrote a book and instead of using my own house, actually wrote about my cousins, right? Interesting to kind of see how she just loved this area so much. It was built in actually different sections as well. The section closest to us here was built in 1831. So that's the oldest part. And that's where the kitchen is, and we're going to enter that very soon. But that whole half the house was built 40 years later in 1876. It's crazy to think how so much of the house was built afterwards and not originally part of it, right? All right, so the next portion here, I'll let you know. Lucy Maud Montgomery I know some people have pets in their house. Fun fact, Lucy Maud Montgomery's favorite animal was actually a cat. I know some people are dog people, some people are cat, but Lucy Maud Montgomery was indeed a cat person. All right, so we'll head inside the Green Gables house now. Super fun and exciting. I'll show you here. We're actually going to head to the kitchen. As we walk on through here, I'll show you, and we're going to talk about the great stove we have inside. So, the stove here, it's really cool. Look at it. It was made in 1876. Super old and super awesome and super cool. It's made fully of cast iron, and on the bottom here, this is where you put your coal or your wood, and it would come up in the heat chambers in the heat, and this is your stove. This is your high heat area right above the firebox, and this part is your lower heat, right? Though it might not have the twisty dials that you might have at your own stove at home, right? And this is your oven or your smoker. It works kind of like a barbecue or an oven. It's kind of like a combo, and you can just add a piece inside that swaps it from a smoker to an oven, similar to the style of a Dutch oven, which you might not know, but that's okay. It's basically you add this piece inside so the smoke goes around and doesn't touch your breads and doughs. You don't want that smoky meat flavoring on maybe on your blueberry muffins, right? So next we're gonna head upstairs, and we're actually going to go to Anne's room and find a couple things in there. Alrighty. How exciting. All on through. Here we go. Walk on in. And look, oh my goodness gracious.
Well,
look who's here. It's Anne Shirley Purcell.
Anne Shirley, and that's Anne spelled with an E.
With an
You
E.
mustn't forget
Okay.
the E.
I never would.
And Campbell with an E as well.
Yeah, not at the end though. Not at the end. Yeah,
Well,
it's before
it still
the.
counts.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing quite well, yes. Welcome to my bedroom.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my goodness, it's so nice in here.
Thank you.
What do you have in here?
Well, lots of interesting things.
I
If you all want
imagine.
to see,
We'd love
I'll show you
to.
some. Oh, all right.
Please.
So first things first. This is one of my very strangest possessions.
Okay.
A broken slate, and you might be asking yourself, Anne, why do you keep a broken slate?
Yeah.
Well, it's to remind me to keep very good control of my temper, because there was this one time where a boy called Gilbert Blythe was teasing me and calling my red hair carrots. And so I slapped him over the head with my slate because I was so angry.
Oh my goodness.
And it wasn't very nice of me, so I keep it as a reminder to control my temper.
Okay. Well,
You mustn't
nice.
hit people with things, right, Campbell?
Correct. That's very wise of you, Anne
That's very
Shirley.
wise. And over here, another one of my favorite possessions, my puff sleeve dress. I'm not wearing it today, but I should have if I knew all of you were going to be here. And Matthew got it for me for Christmas. These puff sleeves are really all the rage in Avonlea. I wish I could wear it every single day. Yes, and well, right over here is my favorite flower. Her name is Bonnie the geranium. And she is pink, which is my very favoriteest color in the entire world. And every morning I say, "Hello, Bonnie. Good morning." Those are some favorite things.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Well, I'm here if anyone has any questions.
Absolutely.
perhaps.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for Anne?
Yes. Anything at all.
All right. So we will see what comes in via the
Mhm.
chat. Our group, Miss Bendel's grade 5s or Miss Cochran's group in Alberta, if you want to put something, just let me know in the private chat if you want to come in with a question, and we can pop you into the call. And then, Anne, we'll get things started here just with
Yes.
some students want to know how old you are.
At the moment, I am 12 years old. At this present time.
All right. Let's see. Miss Cochran or Miss MacArthur's class sent in a question. They want to know why you're wearing a hat indoors.
This is a great question. I was actually just outdoors, which is where it's very sunny. If you can, I guess you all were just outdoors as well. I was frolicking and making a friendship bracelet for my kindred spirit, Diana. But I've just come inside. You know, I must take it off before Marilla sees me.
All right. So I got another class here via the YouTube chat, and they're wondering how things are going controlling your temper.
Well, it's a bit of a winding path. There are ups and downs, just like anything in life, and I've learned to accept that. But at the moment, I am very calm and in control, I would say.
All right. That's good to hear. I've got another question here about Prince Edward Island. What do you enjoy doing on the island, maybe on your own or with friends?
That's a great question. One of my very favorite things to do on Prince Edward Island is to appreciate all the nature we have here. I love to walk down Lover's Lane with Diana, walk through the haunted woods to her house, only during the daytime though. At nighttime there might be a couple of ghosts. And I also appreciate a lovely beach walk.
All right. I'm going to pop in so we can see Miss MacArthur's crew in Alberta. Hey, everyone. How's it going? And I think someone has a question, a question about your braids.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, you can. How do you do your own braids, or does somebody do it for you?
Well, when I was younger, someone taught me how to do the braids. It did take a bit of practice, but now I've become pretty quick at doing them myself. But don't be frustrated, they're a bit tricky to do.
All right.
Thank you.
Great question. Okay.
Amazing.
I think
Well, that's perfect.
That's
Next,
perfect.
we'll
Anne.
head
Thank
out.
you.
We're going to go this direction here, and we'll just...
Lovely to meet all of you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you very much, Anne. Thanks for
Goodbye.
telling us about your room. It's so nice.
course. Come back anytime.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay. We'll head this way. We're actually going to go to a secret room in the Green Gables house and ask some extra questions before we finish here. Come on in. Welcome. There we go. All right. So thank you all for being here. If you have any questions for me now about specific things around the area or the author, now is the perfect time to ask away.
All right, perfect. Well, don't be shy to use the chat sidebar if you're tuning in via YouTube. I can check in with our camera groups shortly to see if they have some questions. But before we do that, Campbell, while you were presenting, we put together a Kahoot quiz. So we are going to give students a chance to test their new knowledge and see how they do.
Amazing.
So let me pick the right screen. This should come up now. If you would like to join us today, it's very easy. You need to go to kahoot.it. So kahoot.it. Then it's going to ask you for a PIN number. Today's PIN is 6869190. And you might have a Chromebook or a tablet. You can join that way. If not, your teacher could pop this up at the front of the classroom. You can shout out your answers to him or her. If you are at home, we always have lots of home groups hanging out. You can scan that QR code with a tablet or with a phone. It'll bring you right into your spot, and then it'll give you your fun animal name. I see the Groovy Chicken, the Lucky Impala, the Dandy Falcons. We've got some groups coming in here to join us, which is great. Yeah, we'll give it a few more seconds. There's going to be some true or false, some multiple choice. The quicker you put in the right answer, the more points you're going to get. Yeah, that's right. If you don't If you're unable to join with technology, don't worry at all. You can still play along and see how you do. If there's any classroom questions while we're waiting, don't be shy to put them into the chat, and we'll work those in. And Campbell, while we're waiting, let's find out a bit about you. How long have you been working there?
This is my third year working at Green Gables. I love it here. It's so much fun. I get to do tour groups like this with you guys all the time, with other people. This is my second tour already today. I just love it. It's so much fun. We also have some different programs that start also in July. We get to play music to people. It's so much fun here. If you guys want to come visit, it's absolutely amazing.
All right. Okay. Miss, this is a late question for Anne, but maybe we can still get an answer. Miss Bendel's grade 5s are with us. They're a virtual class. We have Miss Bendel backstage and her classroom's tuning in with us. And so they're wondering if you know of, maybe Anne's told you this, any examples of strategies she uses to control her temper. I think that might be something students have with their brothers and sisters and maybe sometimes with their parents.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I know that she does go on different like nature walks, and she spends her time there out in nature. Absolutely. Of course, deep breaths, right?
Yeah, those are good ones.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. Okay, perfect. Well, it looks like things have calmed down a little bit with groups joining us. So I think we might be ready to get this Kahoot started. Remember, there's going to be some multiple choice, some true or false. The quicker you put in the right answer, the more points you're going to get. So let's see who makes it to today's podium. We're going to have about a 3-second countdown, and then, yeah, we're off.
Okay, let's see.
All right. How many Lego pieces are in the Lego house? Was it 534? Was it 9,792? Was it 50,000? Or was it all the way up at 1 million pieces of Lego? So you have 4 options. 534, 9,792, 50,000, or 1 million. All right, good job, crew. Most went with 9,792. Very cool.
Well done.
All right, awesome stuff. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. We've got the brave raccoon in that top spot.
Oh.
We have another question coming your way. Do you know what color Anne's hair is? I hope everybody knocks this one out of the park. It's pretty trademark. Is it brunette? Is it blonde? Is it red? Or is it black? What color is Anne's hair? Brunette, blonde, red, or black? What do you think? You still have about 5 seconds to lock something in. All right, good job, crew. You guys knocked that one out of the park. It is red. Good stuff.
You got it.
Oh, brave raccoon. It's only a 2-point lead, but holding on. True or false coming your way? PEI is Canada's smallest province. Is that true? Or is that false? True or false? PEI is Canada's smallest province. All right, not too bad, not too bad. That is absolutely true. Ooh, the mighty giraffe sneaking in for the last question. Here we go. This is for the win. What animal was Ella Montgomery's favorite? Was it ferrets, cats, elephants, or the goblin shark? Ferrets, cats, elephants, or was she doing some deep sea diving and checking out those goblin sharks? We have about 6 seconds to lock it in. All right, good job, crew. A couple of people guessed goblin sharks. I mean, PEI is surrounded by water, so you never know. Cats is the right answer. More of a dog guy myself, but cats are cool. I get it. That's all right. Okay, let's take a look at our podium. In third place, we've got the Dandy Falcon.
Oh.
Second place, the Noble Koala. And holding down that top spot, the brave raccoon coming back after sliding down the leaderboard. Good stuff. All right.
Well done. Well done.
Well, thanks for playing along with us, everyone. I'm going to stop my screen share. I am going to turn off that music so we don't hear that in the background anymore. And we are ready for questions. If you are tuning in via YouTube, don't be shy. If you have any questions about Anne, if you have any questions about the place, the Green Gables Heritage, if you have any questions about PEI, I bet you Campbell can answer some of those as well. I think it's all fair game. Goblin Sharks, maybe. We'll see. But those other three for sure. I think we can tackle those areas.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to check in first with, let's see, go back to Alberta because I see hands. So we don't want to leave those hands up. We want to help those hands go down. So we're ready for you.
Okay, here comes Avery.
How long have the Green Gables been there?
The books or the house?
The house.
The house. Okay.
What was the question, Sarah? I think it cut out for a second.
How long has the Anne of Green Gables kind of house and grounds been there?
It's been here since 1831, but Parks Canada bought it in 1937.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
I think I saw a few more hands there. Someone else want to come up?
Come on up.
Here comes Sadie.
All right.
How long is the grounds of Green Gable?
How long?
How
Like how large?
large? I'm not sure exactly how big is it. It is. I think I have a guess. I think maybe my camera woman might know in the back. Possibly.
Possibly. I mean, the grounds in which all the visitors walk with the trails might be around 10 acres, and it's surrounded by about 130 acres of golf course and farmland.
Mhm.
So in total, probably 150, 140 or 50
think
acres, maybe.
Yeah, my guess was 180 is the number I had
Oh,
in my head.
there we go.
that's
You know what?
That's probably it then.
There you go. Give or take a few acres.
Yeah.
All right. That's a
Awesome.
nice big piece of land.
Yes,
And how many books are in the Anne of Green Gables series?
8 in the series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 8 in the series.
All right, but they're obviously popular if they've been translated into so many languages.
Absolutely. 42 different languages.
All right, we're gonna take a couple more, and then I'll check YouTube and see how we're doing.
Hey, Louie, do you want to come over? Okay.
How long have Anne of Green Gables been?
When were the books written?
Yeah.
That's a great question. So it's a bit tricky, actually. They were originally written in 1905, and then she tried to get them published, but they said no. It was very sad. So then she put it in a hat box up in her kitchen and then kept it there for 3 years. And then she found it again in 1908, sent it out to a publishing company in Boston, and then boom, they're published, and it immediately took success. So since 1908, that's how old the books are. 1908.
All right. So we will check in with your crew a little bit later. I want to go to YouTube and give some other classrooms a chance. I want to check in. Miss Bendel's 5th graders are hanging out with us. Miss Bendel, have any questions come in via the chat? I know you've got a virtual crew hanging with you today. I'll give you a sec to unmute your microphone, and we can check in.
Okay, hold on. Anyone's got a question? It was a question. Oh, go ahead. A question. I think the question was, how's the guy that got his head hit?
How's the guy doing who got hit with the slate?
Oh yes, Gilbert. Yes, Gilbert Blythe got hit by the slate. I think he tried multiple times he's been trying to apologize to Anne lately and try to make things up. He doesn't seem to be too upset by it. I think he more than anything, he's trying to say, "Oh, I'm sorry for pulling on your hair and calling you carrots." I think he's doing all right.
All right. He's probably one of those tough farm boys, and yeah, he just pushed a little too far with the teasing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Miss Bendel, if your 5th grade crew has any more questions, pop them into the chat for me so I know to check in. I'm going to zip over to YouTube here. We've got Mr. Chitnick's group hanging out with us. Let me get a reminder what grade they are. Fourth graders in Toronto. And
Amazing. Well,
yeah, would like to know if Anne's favorite dress is comfortable. And Sophia wants to know, was Anne's only hairstyle braids?
Yes. So I'm pretty sure I know that's her. Definitely, the puff sleeve dress is definitely her favorite of the dresses. I'm not sure exactly how comfort, as I haven't quite worn the puff sleeve dress before myself, but I do know that she normally when she's out and about, she doesn't wear the puff sleeve dress. I'm sure her kind of normal clothes and working clothes might be a bit more comfortable than that. And then as far as the braids, I know most days she wears the braids, but I'm sure if she's going out or for special case scenarios, she might have her hair down instead.
All right, that's pretty fair. Okay, so just a question here, just in general about PEI.
Yeah.
You said that the farm was pretty big, about 180 acres. How does that compare to maybe other farms on PEI?
Yeah, so this one's it's definitely not quite as it definitely is different from the time period, right? So back then there was the McNeil family who owned this entire farm, and there was properties just allotted to different areas. Different families had different amounts, right? So nowadays I think big families have much larger farms in certain parts of it. And then other farms might be smaller as well. It just kind of depends on specific farms and specific size, specific families, how long they've had the farm, right?
Yep. Okay. Another question here about our author. Did she ever write any books besides the Anne of Green Gables series?
She did actually, yes. She wrote 22 books throughout her life, and only 8 of them were part of the book, or were part of the Anne of Green Gables series.
All right,
Yeah,
so
she wrote tons of different series.
a pretty prolific author.
You got it, yes.
Miss Bendel's 5th graders have sent me another question in the chat. They're wondering, how old was she when she first wrote the books?
How old? So she would have been 31 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, 31 years old.
And do you know if you know it was pure fiction? Did she weave in some of her growing up?
Absolutely be inspirations from her life, right? And she used this house that we're in as inspiration for Anne of Green Gables, because this is the house she called Green Gables. And the Haunted Woods Trail she used as inspiration. And the Lover's Lane Trail she used as inspiration. But she never based anything directly, people-wise, directly based on. So all the people some people are similar, possibly, right? But no one's an exact copy. Definitely fiction.
All right. Well, I want to check in with our group in Alberta one more time to see if they have another question or two for us. We'll check YouTube one more time, and then it's already almost time to sign off for today. So let's check in with our crew in Alberta. I think I see some hands.
I don't. Oh, okay. We have one more question here. Come on up, Alexander.
Perfect.
Who built the house?
Who built the house? That was a man named David McNeil Sr. from Scotland, actually, and he built the house in 1831. It was parents, so Lucy Maud Montgomery, the author, her grandparents. She lived there just over the woods that way, and it was their cousin's dad. That's who he would have been.
All right, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll check YouTube one more time, see if we have a final question or two to wrap us up for today. Okay, well, this first question is, what's it like, visitor-wise? Do a lot of people come to visit?
Yes, lots of people come visit. Right now, we're getting more and more people every day. And once July 1st hits, all of July and August, those 2 main months of summer, we're going to have about 2,000 people every single day.
Wow.
It's so busy here. It's so much fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So this series that we've been doing is all about, parks and historic sites and some conservation as well. So there's obviously this site in PEI. Is there another Parks Canada site that students might want to visit if they were here, if they came to PEI?
Yeah, the national park absolutely is all around PEI, different areas, right? And then we have a couple other heritage places. Definitely not as big as Green Gables, but absolutely still great spots to go visit. We have a spot called Skamoukin, Port Lajoie, Fort Amherst. It's a nice little spot where tons of ships would come in. It's a good collection of 3 different cultures throughout different years and time periods that they kind of grab the history of and show how it's intertwined. Stuff like that. And there's tons of other parks and different Parks Canada spots all over PEI.
All right. I have one more kind of fun question here. Are there any cats on site?
Oh, I think you cut out there a bit there, Joe.
Okay, we'll try that again. Another fun question here. Are there any cats on site?
Any cats on site?
Yeah.
No cats on site. No, not quite. No.
All right. Fair enough. Thought maybe Anne might have one squirreled away in her room or something.
Maybe. I mean, if anyone would, it's probably Anne Shirley. She's a bit mischievous sometimes.
All right, perfect. I think a little bit of mischief is okay. It's nice to have some fun and try new things.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Well, I want to start off with a shout out to our classrooms. Special thanks to our classrooms backstage, Ms. MacArthur's crew, Ms. Bendel's crew. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. To all the great comments that we had when Campbell asked his questions, the questions you sent us, playing Kahoot. It's always great to have you with us, and we hope to see you in some more events before the end of the school year. Amazing. And then I want to give a shout out to Campbell. Campbell, thanks for the great tour and the great information today. And I know you couldn't have done it without Sharon and Kathleen hanging out today and helping make everything happen. So a big shout out to the whole team today.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us, Joe. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks, students. I hope you have a great rest of the week. And we are going to sign off for today. Thanks, everyone.
Questions.